Sir, when it will start, sir? Can we start?
2 minutes.
2 minutes, sir? Okay. I have one more meeting at 4 o'clock. I have to go.
Can we begin the session? Do we have His Excellency Mr. Mehdi Shahrukhi or who joined online?
I think we are waiting for Mr. Shahrukhi to join, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we can see him online. We're just waiting for his office to on the video so that we can start the session. Whose is not muted? Good afternoon, sir. You are on mute.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mehdi Shahrukhi ji. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you doing? Thank you for
Great. Thank you.
So we shall begin the session, and I request the other dignitaries to please keep yourself on mute. On behalf of the Federation of Telangana Chambers of Commerce and Industry, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to today's webinar on promoting trade and business opportunity with Yazd province, Iran. We acknowledge the presence of our chief guest, His Excellency Mr. Mehdi Shahrukhi, Consul General of Islamic Republic of Iran, Hyderabad, and our distinguished speaker, Mr. Gomi, who is the President of the Yazd Chamber, Mr. Amir Hussain, Member of Board of Representatives, Mr. Asghar Yazdi, Vice President of the Board of Yazd Wire and Cable, and Abbas Ali, Member of Board of Representative of Yazd Chamber, and he's also the CEO of Yazd Polika. So thank you everyone for your presence, and just for the information of our distinguished guests and the members and the non-members who've joined today, the FTCCI is on its 105th year of journey, and since its inception has been playing a role of catalyst in promoting trade and investments both ways and supporting the industry at large. At the Federation, we are very mindful of all the programs that we curate with a conscious decision to support the trade and industry, and also facilitating the international business ecosystem to thrive. So that's how this program has been curated today. And before we officially begin the session, we would like to show a short film of FTCCI.
The largest business organization of Telangana state. With a legacy of excellence, the voice of the industry, representing the interests of 25,000 businesses of all sizes, sectors and regions. Empowering trade through advocacy, solution and standard setting. Opening new avenues for unprecedented growth. Laying the foundation for an industrial transformation in the state of Telangana. Now, poised for the next century and beyond. The Federation of Telangana Chambers of Commerce and Industry, FTCCI. Together, let's rewrite the vision for a progressive future.
Thank you. We also have our Senior Vice President, Mr. Anil Agarwal, who's joined, Mr. Meela Jaydev, Vice President who's joined, Mr. Rajendra Agarwal, the Chair of the International Trade Committee, who's joined us online. So I now invite Mr. Bhaskar Reddy, President FTCCI, to welcome the gathering.
Very good afternoon.
Mr. President, I just wanted, before you go forward, to check one thing, because I'm not sure that the Iranian side have an interpreter with them. I'm sure that they will deliver their remarks in Farsi. So we requested a good friend of us, Mr. Nirumant, to be presented in this video, and in order to translate, interpret the conversations in Farsi and English. I just wanted to check with colleagues in Yazd and with Mr. Nirumant to see if they have an interpreter available in Yazd, or will it be Mr. Nirumant who will interpret what we are discussing today?
Sure, I think we need to just check with that.
Mr. Nirumant has already joined, sir.
Yes.
So do you think like we need to give the pause to interpret in between the sentences? How does it work?
That's what I think, yes, because I'm not sure that the Iranian side has any interpreter with them. So if you give me 2 or 3 minutes before you start your statement, then we will be back in a minute.
Yeah, please. Then we will wait for cross-checking the interpreter.
Thank you. Thank you. چیزی کنید چک کنید نه؟ خب پس بذار من رو یزدی هاشم.
جناب آقای شاهرخی صدای من داره؟ سلام علیکم، عرض ادب و احترام. ما صدای شما رو نداریم آقای شاهرخی.
سلام علیکم، صدای منو دارید؟
بله الان داره.
خب وقتتون بخیر. سلام عرض میکنم خدمت همه دوستان از یزد. آرزوی سلامتی دارم و تشکر میکنم بابت حضورتون در این جلسه. من عرایزم رو متوجه شدید دیگه. به دوستان تلنگانا گفتم که نمیدونم آیا در یزد مترجم انگلیسی هست یا نه.
سلام علیکم.
سلام علیکم.
شما بنده قومی مزاحم هستم.
حال شما چطوره؟
چاکرم، ممنون از محبت هستاری. البته ما متنی که آماده کردیم همه انگلیسی هست. انگلیسی هم کم و بیش میفهمیم، فقط به شرط اینکه همکاران ما در هند لطف بفرمان یک کم آرومتر صحبت کنن که از نظر لهجهشون ما مشکل نداشته باشیم. دوما ما مترجم اینجا داریم، هم به فارسی به انگلیسی هم انگلیسی به فارسی، مشکل خاصی توی ارتباط ما نداریم. البته اگر دوستان یک کم آرومتر صحبت بکنن شاید اصلا نیازی به ترجمه هم نباشه. به هر حال ما مترجم اینجا هست و مشکل خاصی توی ارتباط نداریم. خیلی متشکرم.
خیلی ممنون. خیلی ممنون. Well, Ms. Khayati.
Yes.
I have been informed that the Iranian side have an interpreter with them.
Okay.
Plus, they have prepared their lectures in English.
Oh, great.
So from your side, we don't have any problem.
Okay.
Maybe there could be some problems regarding understanding the Indian accent.
Okay.
So they are requesting if you give your lectures so that they can understand it. I mean, if you could give your statements slowly, I don't know how to explain it, to describe it,
Yes.
so that they can understand it.
Sure.
That's what they are saying. I'm grateful that the Iranian side will give their lectures in English. So let's go on, let's go forward. Thank you.
Okay, so over to you, Mr. Bhaskar Reddy, for your welcome address.
So what I will do, I will break into small sentences and give a small pause so that I believe they have interpreter available there. So maybe they will understand or it will be explained to them. Is that okay, Mr. Shahrokhi?
That will be perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to you all. Your Excellency, Mr. Mahdi Shahrokhi, Consul General of Islamic Republic of Iran, Hyderabad, Mr. Mohammad Reza Ghomi, President, Yazd Chamber of Commerce, Industries, Mines and Agriculture, members of Board of Representatives of Yazd Chamber, officials of Consulate General of Islamic Republic of Iran, my colleagues Anil, Mr. Jaydev, Vice President and Senior Vice President and Vice President respectively, Mr. Rajendra Agarwal, Chair, International Trade Committee, FTCCI, Kathy Narawane, CEO, participants, ladies and gentlemen, once again, very good afternoon and welcome you all here. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to the program on promoting trade and business opportunities with Yazd province, Iran. My special welcome to Your Excellency, Mr. Mahdi Shahrokhi, Mr. Mohammad Reza Ghomi, and members of Board of Representatives of Yazd Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Somewhere
جناب آقای قومی، الان خوبه به نظرتون یا اینکه فرصت باشه که مترجم ترجمه کنه؟
قربان خوبه، مشکلی نیست، ادامه بفرمان.
خیلی ممنون. خیلی ممنون. So Dr. Reddy, they don't need to have any interruption, you know, they can understand very well.
Oh, very good. Great, great. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
So I am very happy to mention that Federation of Telangana Chamber of Commerce and Industry is working very closely with the Consulate General of Islamic Republic of Iran at Hyderabad to promote the trade between the two countries by organizing interactions, meetings with the business delegations on very regular basis. We are in very close touch with the Iranian consulate at Hyderabad, and FTCCI has also signed a memorandum of understanding with Iran Chamber of Commerce, Industries and Mines, and Mahashad Chamber of Commerce, Tehran Chamber of Commerce, Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Khorasan Razavi, and also with commercial organization of Khorasan province to foster friendship and to promote trade, investment, special economic and human resource development, technical and specific cooperation of all spheres of economic activity. And business delegations from FTCCI also visited Iran. Most of them have entered into business contacts with their counterparts at Iran. And also I would like to mention that during August last year, in pandemic, just in between the pandemic, His Excellency Mr. Ali Chezeni, Ambassador of Iran at New Delhi, has visited our chamber, FTCCI, along with Mr. Shahrokhi, and we had a very meaningful discussions. And I remember Mr. Ali Chezeni mentioning that India and Iran are very closely connected culturally, and also he was mentioning we maybe few generations back we are all same blood and we are half brothers. So that's that kind of a close relations are there between our two countries. FTCCI is also like to partner with Yazd Chamber of Commerce and work closely in scaling up economic activities between our two states. The bilateral relationships between India and Iran has evolved into a diverse partnership nurtured by long history of cultural connections. India has actively engaged with Iran to secure energy sources, considering that Iran is most viable option in this sphere given the geographic proximity to India. The Chahabar port being jointly developed by India will be a gateway to opportunities for trade with Central Asian nations. The Indian markets, especially Telangana, has been growing consistently, and there are great opportunities to expand trade and investment. Telangana has topped in the rank of ease of doing business in the country, thus demonstrating the commitment and dedication with the government of Telangana. So we can definitely work together. Telangana is strategically located, and Hyderabad is culturally a very excellent match between Iran and our state. We invite the Iranian government and companies, especially from Yazd province, to proactively partner in developing the projects and businesses. These partnerships can help us reach to newer heights in our trade and commercial partnerships. We can exchange information between FTCCI and Yazd Chamber of Commerce, and we can also organize B2B meetings directly. We seek like the people, the business houses interested to set up business and do the trade and commerce. And similarly, we have a large base of businessmen who want to do business with Iran, especially with Yazd. I'm very confident that this program will help in further understanding and expanding economic ties between our two countries, and more particularly between Yazd province and the state of Telangana. I assure you our best cooperation from FTCCI and strengthening the trade and commerce relations
मी लॉग इन झालो. I can see the video only. Nobody else is there.
So I once again welcome you all to this program, and hopefully we have a very meaningful discussions and deliberations going forward. Welcome and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Reddy, for setting the tone. And yes, from the Secretariat also, we echo what you said, that both the chambers can work on the reciprocal basis to support trade and investment between both the countries. I now invite Mr. Rajendra Agarwal, Chair of the International Trade Committee, to give his introductory remarks.
Good afternoon. I am extremely happy to add my words of welcome to Your Excellency, Mr. Mahdi Saroki, Consul General, Consulate General of Islamic Republic of Iran in Hyderabad, and Mr. Mohammad Reza Jomi, President, Yazd Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, members of Board of Representative of Yazd Chamber of Chambers, and officials of Consulate General of Islamic Republic of Iran for today's meeting. The objective of the meeting is to interact and understand more about Iran, especially of Yazd province, and the support that they offer for collaborations, joint ventures, for furthering the trade between two countries, that is Iran and India, especially in Telangana. The dignitaries will be representing overview of the growing trade and investment opportunities and the assistance provided by them for Indian investors who intend to do business or set up their operations in Yazd province of Iran. We understand that the economy of the area in which the Yazd is situated is dominated by agriculture that was modernized through the establishment of farm of corporations for processing centers for agriculture products. India being an Aryan country, there are a lot of potentials for the cooperation between two countries, that is India and Iran. The potentials area for the cooperation between Yazd and Telangana are pharmaceutical products, food products like sweets, dry fruits, etc., and mineral product, ceramic, tiles, petrochemicals, etc. The Indian community in Iran, comprising of around 5,000 Indian nations. This includes around 80 to 100 families in Tehran, 15 families in Jaidan. There are approximately 3,000 Indian nationals in Qom, Mashhad and Ifaham, consisting of Indian students undergoing the logical studies for their family member. There is high level of commitments in both countries to promote the facility people-to-people contacts. I once again welcome you all, and I am sure that this meeting will be an opportunity for the businessman to know the development taken place in Yazd province. Iran and the scope of establishing business cooperations, joint ventures, technology, imports, and all for making investments in Iran, especially between Yazd province and the state of Telangana. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Agarwal. I now invite His Excellency Mr. Mehdi Shahrukhi, Consul General of Islamic Republic of Iran, Hyderabad, to deliver the keynote address.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Bhaskar Reddy, the President, Mr. Rajendra Agarwal, International Trade Committee Chair, Ms. Khayati, and my friend, Mr. Kulkarni, dear friends and colleagues in Yazd, Mr. Ghomi, the President, Mr. Begi Yazdi, my dear friend who I met him in Yazd, and other colleagues from Yazd Chamber of Commerce. A very good afternoon to all of you. Well, one of our duties as the Consulate General or as the political officers in Iranian Consulate General is to connect different sectors of government and private sectors to each other. So during the last 2 or 3 months, we have been in contact with FTCC and our colleagues from Iranian Foreign Minister representative in Yazd, Mr. Bahrami, to have a webinar so that the Chamber of Commerce of 2 states could discuss the opportunities. I'm sure everybody is well aware of the historical relations between India and Iran. During the times that we didn't have such connectivity channels like flights, trains, etc., the people have been able to know each other. They have come from India to India, vice versa, from India to Iran. Many historical structures now in Hyderabad could show us that there had been a very good connections between people. But in this new world, putting aside these cultural and historical aspects, 2 nations can no longer know each other or continue their relations without having economic and trade relations. And it is very important. From the first day I assumed the responsibility to Hyderabad as the Consulate General, I have been discussing this issue with different people, especially our friends in FTCC. So, FTCCI. What I will be hopeful for today's meeting is that both sides, the Indian and Iranian sides, could explain their opportunities to each other. We are not, as you all aware and has been mentioned, rivaling economies. We are, we have 2 economies and trade opportunities that can complete each other. We almost have oil-related products and petrochemical products, opportunities in different fields in fruits and structure of facilities. From other side, the Indian side have opportunities in different fields, as you mentioned, in pharmaceutical sectors and of course fruits. So what I will be hopeful in the coming statements by my colleagues from 2 sides, that they can explain their opportunities. I am sure that there are businessmen who are eager to contact with each other. They could be introduced to each other so that we can have better relations with each other. Once again, I take this opportunity to thank all participants, my colleagues from Chamber of Commerce and Yazd Chamber of Commerce. Thank you very much.
Thank you, His Excellency. Now I take pleasure of inviting the team members of Yazd Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Mohammad Reza Gomi, President of Yazd Chamber, to introduce his team members and address on the business opportunities in the Yazd province.
Good afternoon to all, especially Mr. Reddy, the President of FTCCI. Welcome. I would like to explain about part of Iran, not complete of Iran. Yazd is the center of Iran. I would like to explain about the Yazd. My name is Mohammad Reza Qomi, President of Chamber of Commerce, Industries, Mines and Agriculture. I am economic activist and manufacturer of melamine and plastic houseware under the Yazd Gold brand, which includes 3 factories and has had trade relation with Hamilton Company in India for over 28 years. I import refill from this company, and I am still negotiating a new order. Also, the offer has been announced for a 10% price increase. Price in India seem to have increased, and maybe it was due to COVID-19. It's my pleasure to be participated in this meeting to explain you about potential of Yazd Industries, Mines and Agriculture. Yazd province is located in the center of Iran, and the connection main line from south to north and from east to west of the Iran country. It has a growing population, about more than 1 million inhabitants. Yazd was called Isatis at the time of the Median Empire when it emerged. Yazd is the second historical city and the first climate city in the world, and for this reason, since 2017, the historical city of Yazd is recognized as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. It has a desert climate and includes Persian architects. This city is announced as top industrial and top 2 mineral province in Iran. More than 3,700 factories are producing about 800 products, which 4,000 products are exported to 93 countries around the world. Yazd ranked first in producing ceramic and tiles, which is more than 55% of Iran total production, and ranked 3rd in steel production, especially in alloy steel. Now, for the quality of its silk and carpet, Yazd is now one of Iran industrial centers for textile. 25% of Iran textiles production is manufactured in Yazd. Besides, the largest glass factory in Middle East is located in Yazd, and the main factories in wire and cables, pipe and fitting, and polymer products in Iran are producing in high capacity. Currently, Yazd is home to the largest fiber optic manufacturer in Iran. Yazd is also well known for its mine resources in the world. The main products in this sector are iron ore, copper ore, lead, zinc, and natural stones, which are mainly exported to China Arab Emirates, Turkey, and of course, India. The main agricultural products which are growing in Yazd are first, pistachios, or in other words, red gold, which Yazd stands second in Iran in this export. Finally, unfortunately, over the past year, Indian banks have restricted their banking relationship for trade in non-essential goods, which has increased bank fees for Iranian traders and made it difficult to do business with India. On the other hand, Indian exporters, due to the obligation of their banks, should ship cargo to the country from which the money is transferred. And this has led to increasing shipping costs due to indirect shipment from India to Iran. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gomi. Now I request Mr. Amir Hussain, member of Board of Representative of Yazd Chamber of Commerce, to address the participants.
Hello, everybody, and good afternoon. I am honored and delighted to join this meeting with Mr. Reddy, President FTCC, Mr. Agarwal, Vice President, and Mr. Jayadev, Vice President too, and Mr. Shahrokhi, Consul General of Islamic Republic of Iran. I am Amir Hossein Haydarzadeh, Board Member of Yazd Chamber of Commerce and Industry, also Chief of Mining and Industrial Mining Commission. Actually, my main business is extractor and owner quarry, also process of natural stone, specifically travertine stone. I would say Yazd province is a second rank of rich minerals and commodities, which means geomorphic structure in Iran. I, for one, believe Yazd is a heaven of mines. We have several mines in world class, such as Chador Malu is iron ore, Mehdiabad for lead and zinc ore, D19 zone that is rich in magnetic iron ore and extremely high capacity and quality, but of course under exploration by government's company. And we have another mid-range and small scales mines such as natural stone, including marbles, travertine, granites, and onyxes, and so on. We have industrial clays for porcelain and ceramic, including kaolin, feldspathes, bentonites with high quality. Also, we have hematite and magnetic iron ore, coal, kind of plasters such as copper, gold, molybdenum, phosphates, even rare earth element and radioactive elements. In relation to the mining industry, product of lead and zinc or Constantine, iron ore Constantine, uplet iron, sponge iron, and ceramics in Yazd are reliable. Unfortunately, as you know, and Mr. President Mohammad Reza Ghomi mentioned it, our country is suffering from sanction, and I hope this challenge will be over soon, inshallah. I would say after finding a compromise between Iran and 5+1 countries, this thirsty market of Iran will be ready for hosting foreign investment and Indian investment because of close culture, history, and economic between us can take lead from other opponent this competition. Fortunately, Yazd has a good abilities to supply local and international necessities, and investment of domestic and foreign investors are full booked now. But the main suggestion of mine for investment is improving and expanding logistics, especially railway to southeast of Iran, in order to connect our raw material to other international corridors from Chabahar harbor, as you mentioned about it. According to previous MOU between Iran and India in this spot, the infrastructure is almost ready, and Oman Sea has a better capacity for transport than Persian Gulf. You know, as I mentioned earlier, majority of railway Yazd to southeast is a just single track, which reduce our productivity. As a matter of fact, is in every country the railway transport cost is lower than other means of transport. But in Iran, for shortage and well-structured railway system, the costs are very high, and most of pressure on the roads and the highways, unfortunately, which is costly and has its own risks. My second suggestion is investment in dry port of Yazd province. So what is dry port? Actually, it's a logistics zone that is used to store different merchandise, such as industrial and mining product and raw materials. From my perspective, investment in dry port can be profitable. This investment include increasing the number of containers, training and implementing logistics services in the railway stations, and increasing capacity of storage. Ultimately, currently most of mine lack new heavy mining machineries such as loaders, shovel tracks, dump tracks, and bulldozers, and so on. According to Outlook of Islamic Republic of Iran in mining industry, existing capacity and system can't meet the needs of this outlook. So it's another aspect of investment. To wrap up, developing and establishing railway system, investing in dry port of Yazd, and supplying heavy mining machinery and a spare part of them are good potential for a safe investment for a long term. Thank you, and I appreciate for your close attention.
Thank you, Mr. Amir Hussain, for briefing us the opportunities available for investments. I request Mr. Abbas Ali, Member of Board of Representative of Yazd Chamber of Commerce, to address us.
Good afternoon to everyone. I'm going to speak on the behalf of Mr. Motawasselian, the CEO of Yazd Polica and member of Board of Representative of Yazd Chamber of Commerce. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to the respected members of Telangana Chamber of Commerce. As the representative of Yazd Petrochemical and Polymer Industries, I'm very pleased to attend in this joint meeting with Telangana entrepreneurs, businessmen, and industrial managers. Yazd is known as one of the leading regions in Iran downstream petrochemical industries, owing to its situation located at the center of Iran transit networks, having access to raw material and highly educated human resources. Around 700 entities have already established in Yazd in the field of polymers, rubbers, and plastics, annually using 15% of 8 million tons of upstream petrochemicals. By taking into account lower consumption of plastic in Iran in comparison to developed countries associated with the population of young people, as well as accessibilities to the regional markets, have made the downstream petrochemical industries attractive for Iranian and foreign investors. The superior quality of Yazd products have gained the attention of overseas traders, which resulted in exporting various products to numerous countries in Asia, Europe, and Africa. The downstream products which are manufactured in this province are widely used in building industry, automobile, packing, agriculture, construction, and infrastructure projects. India has always been one of the major commercial partners for Iran in the field of chemicals, polymers, petrochemicals, and oil derivatives. Thanks to the historical and cultural relationship, Iranian entities would like to enhance trading activities with Indian companies. Fortunately, the quality of chemicals and additives being produced in India is quite competitive globally due to the concrete cooperation between India and highly reputed international companies. Due to this reason, some of the polymer and plastic manufacturers in Yazd province are already applying Indian additives in their product lines instead of using European ones. In spite of mentioned potential, most of capabilities of Indian companies are still unknown for the majority of Yazd enterprises. In addition, the universal spread of COVID virus has seriously restricted the opportunities of two sides to get known with their potential in a satisfactory level. We sincerely hope that this introductory meeting between Telangana and Yazd Chamber of Commerce would allow both parties to get more familiar with their capabilities and pave the road for promoting mutual commercial relationship. Thank you all for your kind attention.
Thank you. Any other member from the Yazd province would like to speak or address the event?
No, we are all just finished.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Now the floor is open for question and answer. Members having any inputs they need for export or import from the Yazd province, they can ask to the representatives of Yazd Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah. First, let me thank Mr. Ghomi for giving all insights about Yazd province. And we came to know that it's a hub of this mining and agriculture. And he has also explained about his 3 factories, and he is already having a good relationship with Indian partners. Yazd is UNESCO World Heritage Site. And I could see in the message box, one of our tourism committee member, Anuradha Reddy, head of Intact, Telangana. She visited Yazd province, and she's testimony like Yazd is a wonderful hospitality, food and people. There is already our members who visited, and they are complimenting the Yazd province for their hospitality and people. And Mr. Ghomi, I echo your sentiments on these restrictions which we had last year, and hopefully very soon it will go. We as a business community, because of some political reasons, certain decisions have taken, but we are very hopeful, and very soon these things will be done away. And also thank Mr. Amir Hossain for giving the request for various sectors, improving and expanding logistics and railway connectivity. And this dry port thing which you discussed, we are also in Telangana is a landlocked state. And we are in the process of setting up a dry port here in Hyderabad in Telangana. And some of the private businessmen are getting involved in this. And hopefully we will pass this information, and maybe some of these people may join, keenly look at a dry port in your place also. Similarly, Mr. Abbas Ali, thank you very much for giving an input on polymers and chemicals. And I think we complement all your sentiments on the business between Yazd and Telangana, and look forward for more and more meaningful relationships, B2B relations. And I think as Kulkarni, over to you for question and answer sessions between the members.
Yeah.
We would also like to, before we proceed, to know how many members do you have in your chamber?
Mr. Gomi, it is to you about how many members Yazd chamber has.
1,150.
1150.
1,150.
Thank you.
Okay.
So they represent the industries, mines and agriculture, mostly comprises of that category, or
Would you please repeat it again?
so mostly the industries represent from the mines and agriculture sector, or any other potential areas where there are a big number of members with the Yazd Chamber of Commerce?
We want to know the sectors they represent, the members.
This 1,150 members, do they represent all sectors or only mining and agriculture? That is the question.
Yes, they are all the member of Yazd, and all the members are active in all the field of industries.
Okay.
Industries that we mentioned in the speakings of the Mr. Gomi.
So, Mr. Reddy, what I came to know is that these 1,000 members are not just working in mine and agriculture. So it means that in
It's all.
Yeah, it's all, yes.
All sectors. Yeah.
All sectors.
Good.
The floor is open for question and answer.
Kulkarni, one question is there about the spices. We heard Iran is well known for spices. So can you please enlighten, are there any members who are keen for spices? That, or can we connect with somebody who does business in trading the spices between India and Telangana and Yazd?
No, in Yazd, we don't have spices. We are not active in this field.
So any other question, please either type in the chat box or unmute yourself and you can ask directly. Since Yazd team is here, we can exchange.
Excuse me, sir. Can I have my question, please? I'm
Please.
Niruman, former Public Relations Officer, Iran Consulate and Director of Chamber of Commerce for Iran Trade Promotion. In the past, we have done lots of business. Trip Kulkarni also knows, and all the past presidents, they all know it. Lots of MOUs have also been signed with Mashhad Chamber of Commerce, with Khorasan, Razavi Chamber of Commerce, Iran Chamber of Commerce. Is Yazd Chamber of Commerce willing to sign such an MOU with the FTCCI? Because there is lots of scope because most of the Iranians domiciled in Hyderabad, they belong to the Yazd province. And if this can be taken up, we can have a very, closer relations with them. They can be encouraged in promotion of the business with Yazd province, especially the local Iranians, the domiciled Iranians. If you want, I can tell you in Persian also. ما ایرانی‌های مقیم زیادی از استان یزد در حیدرآباد داریم که بیشترشون کار تجاری و رستوران و مغازه چیز دارن. اگر استان یزد یا اتاق بازرگانی یزد با اتاق بازرگانی تلنگانا مخصوصا چون در شهر حیدرآباد یک تفاهم نامه را اگر امضا بکنن، میتونیم فعالیت زیادی در این زمینه داشته باشیم. ممنونم.
Thank you, Mr. Ali. Definitely we'll explore this possibility. We'll be in touch with Yazd Chamber of Commerce and we'll exchange our letters and then we'll find a suitable time to enter into an MOU. Please, Mr. Iqbal Abdullah.
No, would they like to also comment on this question?
Sorry, I just want to amend my answer and say regarding to spices, we have some companies that are interested for importing spices from India. If there are any, we would be glad to know about them.
Yes.
Yeah, can I go ahead?
Yeah, please.
Yes, yes, Mr.
Very good
Patel.
afternoon to the entire participants who are with us today. I'm taking a cue from what President Mr. Reddy has just said about one question which was raised from one of the members, Mr. Amir, I guess, from the Chamber of Commerce regarding dry port. What I understand from that geographical location is that you are in the middle of the country and equidistance to both Tajikistan, Afghanistan and Bandar Abbas. They are all about 600 plus kilometers from this province. So the most effective, and the commodities are minerals and heavy material. So the best way forward would be to have a dry port, an international dry port, where you can also take business of other countries also, and create a facility in your province from where exports can happen then and there. Instead of the commodity or the cargo being shipped to Bandar Abbas, the export formalities should happen in your province. You should, the government should facilitate, or rather you should facilitate with the government to have, the customs authorities sitting there and process this in a very similar way that happens here in India. And as rightly said by our president, Hyderabad is very similar to your province. It's a landlocked area right in the heart of India. So in equidistance, we have Visakhapatnam and Chennai port, but all our activities of customs formalities takes place in Hyderabad. And then the custodian is allowed to move the cargo either by train or by containers to the port, thus resolving many issues of importers and exporters. So this is one area where I can see a lot of potential if you already have a railway line which is connecting this province to Bandar Abbas. If I'm not mistaken, Bandar Abbas is your main port. So we can also, definitely, since I am operating one dry port in Hyderabad, so I can understand the nature of this business and the importance of this business. So this is what I want to convey to the members of the Chambers of Commerce.
Hello again. And actually, the Bandar Abbas is located in Persian Gulf, and the Persian Gulf for the deeper than the Oman Sea. Oman Sea has a good potential, specifically Chabahar Harbor. Specifically good potential for the deep of the sea and the high capacity of the ship.
The ships that are transported.
The ship in Oman Sea then better transported than the Bandar Abbas for the deep of the Oman Sea, Yeah. And it's a good potential. And before that, the MOU between Iran and India, I think is a very main corridors between the CIS countries, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and connection to the Europe, even Europe. Thank you so much.
So my question is all exports going through this port from your province?
No. Almost of export merchandise export to the Bandar Abbas, you know. But the Chabahar Harbor is a good potential for the investment.
No,
No,
I understand that, sir. My question is, are you using Bandar Abbas or Shabar port right now for your exports?
yes. Actually, we use by Bandar Abbas port.
And is there rail connectivity between your province and Bandar Abbas, sir?
Yeah, it has. Yes. Do you have any question?
No, thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, sir.
There are some questions that the members have posed. So can you check? 1 minute.
Good afternoon. Can I speak? This is Bhaskara from CCITP.
Yes.
Mr. Ali Niruman led so many delegations in the past, and we signed almost 2-3 MOAs under the leadership of Mr. Prem Kumar. Now I am heading this CCITP, and due to this corona, almost all 2 years we were silent. Because it is a very nice country where we can do a lot of things. Only because of these sanctions, we could not able to proceed anything further. Actually, I deal the Indian Railways for the past 32 years. There are around 5,000 diesel locomotives are grounded in India. What I request the Yazd province delegation, you see, if you deal with the Indian government, some of the locomotives can be shifted to this Tehran-Chabahar port railway connection. You see, almost I think that are also diesel broad gauge locomotives, and they badly need a lot of locomotives, what I came to know. If they could do something, these locomotives can be shifted to Tehran, at least some 100 or 200, whatever it may be, because they are lying idle in India now. You see, Indian government want to condemn some locomotives rather than condemning. If their higher authorities approaches the Indian government, I can help them to shift these locomotives to operate from Tehran to Chabahar. Actually, we visited last time Chabahar port. They allotted around 500 hectares for the Indian people, but nobody has come forward to take up those lands to take. Because later on, we came to know that as the province also offering a lot of industrial lands, if anybody wants to establish their business or industries, anything. If they really want to have anything related to railways, I could help them as province delegation.
Thank you, Bhaskar Rao Garu, for joining today's event. There are some questions in the chat box. I request the representatives of Yazd chambers to clarify on that.
So we'll just read out questions one by one.
Hyderabad is being recognized as the twin city with other cities of other countries. Can we see the Yazd city will likely to be a sister city with Hyderabad in future?
بگم که این چیزی که شهرداری ها در موردش تصمیم میگیرن اینجور چیزی. Sorry, can I answer this question?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Twin sister cities is the issue that the municipalities of two sides should decide about that. It is not related to the Chamber of Commerce. We can negotiate with the municipality about this.
Another question, Hyderabad, Yazd province is famous for construction materials as well. What construction materials can we export or import to and fro from Hyderabad to Yazd province? Yes, please, Mr. It is about the construction material import and export.
We can export all of the, for all types of the construction materials, including ceramic and tile, stone, wire and cable, pipes, all of them. We can provide them with.
Another question, can we have any collaboration on skill in silk industry as well? Silk industry.
Silk industry.
Zinc industry?
Sanat abrishami, manzurishun sanat abrishami.
Oh, sanat. About construction material, I should add that the thing that we need is technology, as Mr. Amir Hossein mentioned. And about silk, yes, we are the provider.
So do we have any more questions, or can we conclude? Any more questions from our members?
Another question from Ajay Minerals, due to sanctions on Iran, whether investments is possible from India?
That Mr. Shahrukhi can answer.
Well, I will answer to this question, and I will have some comments before you conclude. If anybody wants to invest in Iran, we can sit with them and discuss the issue. So my suggestion is that to invite the person who is keen to have investment in Iran to come to our office. We will sit each other and we can discuss it. Before you conclude, I will have 2 or 3 suggestions.
Please.
I am sure that it's in your hand and Mr. Ghomi's decision to invite each other. So I wanted to mention that bilateral visits will be very encouraging. So I am sure Mr. Nirumand mentioned that there are domiciles of Iranian origin living in Hyderabad. So it will be very wonderful if the Iranian delegation comes to Hyderabad, have meetings with you from other sides. You will be very interested if you visit Yazd, how this city is developed with many historical buildings, as you mentioned. So this is one issue. The second issue regarding MOU, I think we can work on it as well if both sides agree with me. It will be encouraging as well. Another issue is that I think after this meeting could happen is that there could be some direct contacts between you and Chamber of Commerce of Yazd.
Sure.
So I don't know how do you want to instruct such a channel, you know, we try to introduce you to each other. So if both sides can have their contact numbers, and the merchants, businessmen from both sides can introduce opportunities and potentials to each other. Anytime we receive some information from Iran regarding Iranian opportunities in different fields, whether agricultural, whether industrial, we communicate with FTCCI. It has been our procedure during the past years. But I think with these meetings, webinars, the different sections in trade, business, and industry can contact each other. So if you can have an agreement with the Iranian side, with the Chamber of Commerce of Yazd, to introduce and contact businessmen directly to each other, it will be very helpful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Sharoki. Definitely we'll take cue from your suggestions. And now on this platform itself, I warmly invite and welcome Mr. Gomi and his team to visit Hyderabad as a trade delegation. Whenever you are up, we are ready to receive you, welcome you, host you, and see that possible business tie-ups. And also from our end also, we will be planning, number one. Second thing, we will write to you about B2B businesses. And we have already, I think 30 to 40 people are there who are already doing trade with Iran here in Hyderabad. And we'll exchange the information between our people. And also if you have some people who are keen to export, who are already exporting, let us share that information and come to some conclusion as far as MOU is concerned. Definitely we are keen and we look forward for hearing from you. So this is my take on this. Thank you very much.
There are two more questions in the chat box. One is about what are the opportunities and scope for software solutions?
Yeah.
Mr. Gomi, it is about the IT related services. What is the scope in Yazd province?
سوالشون ببخشید معذرت میخوام سوالشون در بخش نرم افزاریه، در بخش فناوری اطلاعاتی آیا فرصت‌های همکاری با استان یزد وجود دارد؟
Yes, there are opportunities, but we have the Science and Technology Park who can provide you with the complete information about the software of Yazd. If you're interested, we can send it to you.
ببینید دوستان یزد، نکته‌ای که وجود داره اینه که بالاخره الان تلنگانا و حیدرآباد جزو مراکز خیلی قدرتمند تکنولوژی فناوری در هندوستان هستند. یعنی در خصوص ظرفیت‌های متقابل که صحبت کنیم، ممکنه که شرکت‌های ایرانی نیازمندی‌هایی داشته باشند در حوزه‌های مختلف سخت افزار و نرم افزار. این ظرفیت چشمگیری در حیدرآباد وجود داره و البته من به نظرم با آقای بهرامی هم توی چند جلسه‌ای که با هم صحبت کردیم اشاره کردم که متقابلاً از این طرف این ظرفیت‌ها وجود داره. ممکنه شرکت‌های ایرانی برای ایجاد زیرساخت‌های فناورانه خودشون برای توسعه این گونه از ظرفیت‌ها نیاز به همکاری‌های خارجی داشته باشند. این ظرفیت به خوبی در حیدرآباد وجود داره. Mr. Reddy, I was explaining to my colleagues in Yazd on the potentials of Telangana state regarding IT infrastructure, IT information, and I was going to explain that if they need any collaboration, then the Telangana would be a very good spot.
Yes.
to use the potentials.
Yes.
جناب آقای قومی، من یه 2-3 نکته رو مطرح کردم. جناب آقای ردی پاسخ دادن. اگر شما هم به نظرتون پیشنهادهای من مناسب رسید در خصوص دعوت متقابلی که صورت بگیره، سفرهای متقابلی داشته باشید، در خصوص اینی که بشه یه یادداشت تفاهم مشترکی امضا بشه و همچنین در خصوص اینی که بعد از این جلسه این امکان فراهم بشه که تجار دو طرف بتونن به صورت مستقیم با هم در تماس باشند. شما با اتاق تلنگانا و همچنین احیانا ظرفیت یا پلتفرمی که بر اساس اون تجار بتونن با هم در تماس باشن هم جناب عالی نظر بفرمایید، ممنون میشم.
اجازه بدید من ایناش فارسی میگم، هستالی که اونجا واسطم هستید هر جور صلاح میدین خودتون ترجمه بفرمایید. ببینم تو که استظهار دارید، اتاقای استان ها تابع اتاق مرکز هستند، ما زیر نظر اتاق بین الملل هستیم. اتاقای کشور هم با هر کشوری اتاق معین هستند. اتاق یزد معین هندوستان نیست، ما معین اتیوپی هستیم. نه که من مستقیما بدون کسب اجازه از تهران یا موافقت اتاق ایران نمیتونم مستقیما یه حرکتی انجام بدم. یک. در مرتبه دوم نظری که فرمودن فعالین یزدی زیاد هستن تو منطقه، ما هم میتونیم دعوت کنیم، هم میتونم هیئت اعزام کنم. تو هیچ مشکلی تو این قضیه من اصلا ندارم. تو بخشای مختلف به خصوص آیتی که اشاره فرمودید، ما اینجا پتانسیل بسیار خوبی داریم، شرایط خوبی هم داریم تو استان، حتما هم نیازمند هستن. تو پذیرش هیئت و اعزام هیئت هیچ مشکلی وجود نداره، من با کمال میل در خدمتم. اما راجع به تفاهم نامه یا به اصطلاح قراردادی فی ما بین، حتما من باید با تهران اتاق ایران قبلش هماهنگی کرده باشم تا بتونم نتیجه خدمتتون تقدیم کنم.
خیلی ممنون. Well, Mr. Reddy, Mr. Qomi, the same is inviting you and is ready to send delegation to Hyderabad. So it's good news for us. We can work on it later.
Yeah.
And to see how procedures will go on.
Yeah.
And regarding the MOU, he's explaining that having such MOUs be signed needs the permission from the central authorities from the Chamber of Iran.
Yeah.
So they have to work on it, but they are ready to exchange delegations. Thank you.
Just to add to that, sir, 15th of July this year, we are organizing our International Trade Summit. And that's one event where we are, of course, the delegation will not just be able to meet the delegation from India or Telangana per se, but there are a lot of countries which are going to participate. Almost 20 countries would be participating in that exhibition, in that conference. So we will share more details about that event, and maybe that is one event where, if they would like to come with a trade delegation, they can consider.
با اجازه جناب آقای شاروخی، ایشون فرمودن که یک کنفرانس بین‌المللی هستش که بیش از 20 کشور دارن شرکت میکنن. میگن اگر از ایران هم کسی هیئتی میخواد داشته باشه، میتونه تو ماه جولای 15 جولای به بعد این همچین کنفرانسی دارن دعوت کنن. پس بهشون بگیم که اینا دعوتنامه‌شون رو بفرستن که ما بفرستیم ابلاغ کنیم به مرکز که اونا خودشون تصمیم بگیرن.
Yes, it will be great if we can know about the details of it and if we receive the invitations.
Sure.
So if we have no other questions, we can conclude the session, and I take this opportunity to propose the hearty vote of thanks to Your Excellency, Mr. Mehdi Shahrukhi, Consul General of Islamic Republic of Iran, Hyderabad, Mr. Mohammad Reza Gumi, President, Yazd Chamber of Commerce Industries, and the members who are present today at the event. Thank you so much, and I'm very confident that the initial meeting was very fruitful, and since we are both chambers, we understand each other very well, and thanks to the consulate office and His Excellency for facilitating this interaction, because this will definitely go a long way. And you've already said that we can work on various aspects such as bilateral exchange of or the bilateral visits. Second is the MOU that we can sign, and also I think this we may also identify one contact person from the FTCCI as well as their chamber who can be constantly in touch with each other to exchange information, so that if there's any need, whether for exports or import, we don't let it go, and we support our industry members. So end of the day, we also believe that there's prosperity, peace, stability through trade. So the chambers are there to facilitate such kind of dialogues. So with that, I thank one and all to be part. Thank you so much for sparing your time this afternoon and being with us for this program. And in case if you still have more questions, you can get in touch with the FTCCI office, and we will ensure that you have the right answer. And also thank you to our chair, our office bearers, and the consulate office and the team and all the delegates present there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, once again.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your cooperation. دوستان یزدم شما رو به خدا میسپاریم با آرزوی برنامه‌های آینده ان شاء الله. خدا
متشکرم.